how I prepare my final exam in A1 Goethe Institute before the final day. The exam consists of speaking, listening, writing, and reading. The speaking part 1 is where we introduce ourselves. If you want to know how to introduce yourself in German, I put the link in the description box below or here above. You can check that out. About the speaking is all about yourself. What is your name? What is your family name? What is your age? What are your hobbies? Where do you live? What is your work? All of that. So I cover that in this video, so go ahead, check that out. They are also going to ask you about your phone number, so make sure you know how to tell a number in German. So they are going to ask your telephone number, so you can just give it to them. They're going to ask you to spell your name, so make sure you know how to spell your name. Know what are the questions first, so I know what is the answer. You have to know what are the questions. That's why it's important that you know what are these words that the questioners are talking about, so you know also what to answer, to understand what they are asking for you. It is also additional points that you understand the questions, and even much more score if you get the right answer. In my school, they provided us, or they train us how to answer the questions, so I think you also have that in your school. They also prepare you to have these questions, that you know these questions already before the final exam. Your teachers give you all this information, actual questions that is already in the Goethe Institute, that is also going to be given to you from the questioners. You can also watch a video on YouTube about how to introduce yourself, or about the exams. There are also videos out there in YouTube about the speaking exams. The next one was about cards. They give you cards, and in these cards there are pictures, and in these pictures you're going to give a sentence about this pictures. You can ask any related questions or phrases about these pictures that you receive, and you ask the next person next to you, and she's gonna answer, and then it's gonna be all the way around. So I think we did that 3 rounds or 4 rounds. I was not so sure, so that was about that. How I prepare for that, we did a lot of examples, talking examples, how to formulate a sentence out of these pictures. We did that a lot in school, so if you do all your homeworks, do a lot of review, it's very important that you should have done that before the final. I really did. It was a very big help for me, and I don't have to sit there and I'm stuck. So I did able to answer that. I think I have a bigger score in speaking than the rest of the exam scores. So yeah, they also give you a card, but only words written there. So if you understand what is the word, so it's important for you to memorize also what are the basic words, common words that you are use daily life. So don't use the ones that are not so common, because I think it's not so important. Like for example, what you see in the kitchen, what you see in the street, what you see in the bathroom, what you see in your room, what you see in the garden, what you see in school, school supplies, everything like that. The weather, just very common things that you can learn those words, because you don't know what of words you're gonna have. So it's important that you memorize those words and you understand, so you know what answer or what phrase you're going to give to the person next to you or to the questioners. Depends what is written in your card. So I did a lot of examples from that. And for example, you get here Blumen. How would you relate a Blumen? Use this flower in anything that the flower is involved in the sentence. So the flower means Blumen in German, and you say, for me I would say haben Sie Blumen. I can just say haben Sie, meaning do you have, to use the verb first before the noun. Anything that you come up in your head. I was not sure if there is a time. The faster you can answer, the better. It's good for your score. It's a final exam. The faster you can answer, the better. Yeah, example you have here Essen. Essen means food. Just pick up that word also, like essen Sie Obst. Or you can just say like that. It's even easier. You can just pick up that word and use that word. And I hope you understand the word. You know what is the next phrase for that, how you formulate it. Isn't Sie Apfel? Do you eat apples? So do a lot of examples. It's very important. Practice, practice, practice. Practice with the person in front of you. It is easier that you see the person you're talking with, and just make a simple conversation about verbs that you see in your daily life. It's very helpful for you because you'll never know what words coming up. So the part 2 is form a question based on the chosen words that you receive. So learn how to conjugate the German words. It's very important because they are also paying attention to the grammar that you are giving to them as an answers. It also matters. So do a lot of practice about speaking. Look up in YouTube. I also watch a lot of examples. I also practice a lot with my friends, and we're talking a lot, and it was really helpful for me. I did an extensive review, and then in that review that was very helpful because we did a lot of practice, conversation practice, how to ask, give an order like bitte, using the word bitte, please can you give me that pen in German. Know how to formulate the questions. I learned how to formulate the questions. I practiced how to formulate the questions. I did a lot of expression practice, so it was really helpful for me. Memorize the accusative cases and the nominative cases. The die das. You have to memorize those. Make sure that I have all those set in my head. All those questions, how to formulate the questions, how to deliver questions in German. I have to know all the cases. It's very important I memorize all those and I don't forget. It was also helpful for me that I memorize all those RZS, du, sie, wer, unsere. All those things is very important. All those pronouns, accusative and possessive pronouns, all those is very important also that you have to know because it's important for the grammar as well. It's important how you conjugate the next words from that pronouns. I did a lot of examples also for those how to write a letter. I will make a video about how to write a letter. I will give you all those examples that I have when I started my A1 journey. For the letter, we did a lot of exam also, so it's only about like review all those workbook that you have, gather a lot of information as much as possible, bring up all those in your head slowly but surely. I thought in the beginning I would not stress out myself before the exam, but I was a little bit nervous and stressed out. I still memorized as much as many words before the day I have my A1 exam. I did a lot of memorization of the words as much as possible. I should not forget all those. So thankfully I did not forget because the next day when I memorized something that night and the next day I pick up that words that I memorized last night, I was very happy that I was able to still go for it, to memorize, use the time that I have left to do more memorization for the words. And not only you memorize the words but also to learn how to conjugate and bring up all those what you have learned in basic for the A1 exam. So it's very important that you bring all those what you have learned from the very first day all the way to the exam final. All are gonna be there. For the letter, you have to understand what words. It is really important you understand what the word means. I actually missed there, which for me were like Wohnung. I've missed that word. Probably I heard about it, but then I forgot. But the teacher gave us how you write a letter because sometimes you can also get a score from the other things that you are correct. I was still able to write a letter, just I don't understand the word Wohnung. That means actually just a apartment. And my questions was related about that there is a person going to rent in this apartment, and I have to ask the landlord about the price. You have to ask him what time he is available for the meeting that we can go there for to check the apartment if he is available. So you have to ask him those questions and then you have to formulate questions for that. Like there is a formal way of writing a letter in German, so you have to learn all those as well, which I did also. There are formal and informal way of writing a letter, so you have to know how to formulate a letter and how to end a letter as well. So you have to understand all those. So I'm gonna cover that in my next video, how to write a letter in German. I'm gonna give you the exercises that I have, so you can also check that out. So in my speaking, that was actually a little bit tricky because I complicated to hear new words, new pronunciations, but I still did my best to do the practice, listening, practice and everything. Listen a lot of Germans, get used to the German pronunciation, get used to the German words. The teacher gave us a lot of examples. I learned a lot from my school, of course, especially if you're mentally present and not only physically present there. So you have to be mentally there, and then we just review the rest of the materials that you receive from your teachers. Like I said, in YouTube there are also lots of exams to practice for free, for Huren, for listening examination. So do a lot of those and make sure you understand. Like for example, in train station, the train is going to be late, and then the question is like, how many minutes the train is late before it comes, and then you have to answer 5 minutes late before it comes. Sometimes you don't understand what it means because it's too fast and the pronunciation is a new language. Everything is new, so yeah, that's why it's very important. You have to learn to listen and to understand. So do a lot of examples, do a lot of practice, do a lot of listening, of all of those in train station, in hospital, probably anywhere that probably it exists. There are also lots of free materials to listen online. So the more exercises you do, the better yourself to prepare for the A1 exam. To do a lot of exercises, as many as possible, as much as possible before your final exam. Don't stress out yourself, but bring all those information with you. It's your best friend in your final exam. Also, I was very thankful to have a great tutor because she was able to deliver all the things that I need before the final exam. She knows how to prepare you for the final exam, where to focus. She knows where to focus. So it is also important that you have a great tutor that will deliver to you effectively how to prepare you for your final exam in A1, because it's also important. If you don't have a great tutor and then you're just a beginner, it's also not helpful. So I hope you get a great tutor with you because it's very helpful. It was one of the best things that helps me a lot in learning my A1 exam. The reading section was about fill up the form. What missing in this form, you have to fill it out. You read the one on the top, and based on those sentence, you have to fill out the form down below. Like for example, how much the ticket cost, or what is the postal code of the sentence above, and you have to fill in the blank in there. So you have to also understand what the word means. And everyone is different how they learn. Find those motivations, find those assets that gives you the best way to understand and to learn the new things or the new language, which is a A1 in German. So yeah, that's it guys for this video. I hope you guys learned something today. I hope you guys pass your A1 exam, and I know you will be there and you can do this. It's very hot now, so that's why I'm always like this, so you can see me properly and not like this. Okay, that's it for this video guys, and don't forget to like and subscribe and share this video with your friends who is also learning or preparing their final exam.